Good morning. Well, good afternoon, wherever people are at. It's 12 o'clock. Today, I want to discuss children's mental health. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. I think it is, but I don't know if that was last month. I don't know, but mental health awareness is very important, especially when it comes to our kids. Back in the day, if you had a problem, you would sit there and maybe talk to your parents, talk to your grandmother, talk to a cousin if you're close to your family. And the pain that some of these kids are going through now, especially after the pandemic, it's not like it was back in the day. These kids are so fragile. After the pandemic of sitting in a house, like if you were in any certain states, you were locked in your house, and you were doing homeschool for like you did homeschool for like a year, year and a half. It was and it affected the kids because I mean, even kids that have problems, if they can get out of their house, they can find something they like, they could do it, they can go and enjoy it, play or whatever, play basketball, whatever they do. And at this point, you couldn't. So kids were in their houses playing video games, couldn't talk to friends, couldn't talk to really family. And then also, kids maybe dealing with family members who, like, could have passed away. I mean, there's just so many things with kids nowadays. Kids, their lives are so much complicated now. It's not like back in the day where, you fell off your bike, you scraped your knee, you cried a bit, you wrapped it up, you put some stuff on it, you were fine, you were running the next minute. It's not like that anymore. Like these kids are hurting. I always made it a point that as a dad, my kids were the most important thing. Whether they're whether I'm doing good or not, their welfare was my main goal. So, I mean, I'm not saying that I've been through this. I'm not going to say with who. I'm just going to leave them private. But, it was painful. It was painful. It was so bad to the fact that, I always came up to see my kids. And I traveled with my dad and we went up for the day. It was a long day, but my daughter was worth it, and she was in pain. She was struggling, and that was the worst period, I think, when I actually said, like, where I actually really feel like I messed up as a parent because my child was going through pain that I understood, but I didn't understand, but I didn't want to see her in pain. The last thing we want to do is see our kids in pain. We'll blame ourselves. We'll say, "What did I do wrong? I drove her to this. I put her here. I'm the reason why she's like this." And I had to step back, be a parent, and be like, "Okay, listen, Craig, you need to do this. You need to sit there and you need to be there for your daughter. Even if she denies you or gets mad at you because you say a certain thing, I had to do whatever I had to do for my daughter. Anything. The smallest little thing was a big thing to me. It was to the point to where I called my dad because I didn't have a car really to come up there at the time. And I said, "Listen, I need to get upstate. I need help. I need to get up there to see your granddaughter." He did the same thing. He took time out of his schedule and he said, "Let's go. She needs us." And we came up that day. Nobody knows what it's like to see your child in a room and you can't give them, you can't really, they're in a place that's good for them, but your hands are tied at that point because now the only thing you can do is try to help her with everything she needs: emotional support, physical support if she needed anything. If I had to come up every weekend and she told me to come up every weekend, I would come up every weekend if I had to and try to make my way up there as best I could. And it was a lot. And now it's going on again with somebody else I know. Her daughter's really struggling. She's a good kid. She's a really good kid. Just is a little mixed up. And now with all these kids going through these issues where some are suicidal, some want to hurt themselves, some are just they just stick to themselves. Everyone's they don't want to go nowhere. I mean, it's hard. And as a parent, the only thing you can do is say, "What's wrong? Can I help you? Is there anything you need?" Sometimes they'll want the help, sometimes they won't. Because sometimes they feel like they're by themselves or their parents aren't going to understand. When sometimes we could understand better than they think, but these kids are so scared nowadays and so mixed up with today's and the world's issues and stuff going on in school that's just mixing kids up, or teachers keeping stuff to themselves because they say, "Well, we took care of it in house." No, I'm the parent. If my child's having a problem at school, I need to know about it because that's my child. The parent, we're the parents, not the teachers. I always had a rapport with the teachers where I said, "Listen, anything I want to call immediately for one simple fact." It's because I want them to get the help they need when they need it. And I am going to say this. This is for all the kids out there. You're struggling. Me as a parent, I've been through it. And as a kid, I suffered from a lot of, uh, I was bullied as a kid through all through elementary school into junior high school and high school. That's why I basically left school after a while because I was bullied. I had no friends. I was to myself. At one point, I would not be myself to make friends, if that makes sense, because I felt me being me wasn't good enough and nobody liked me, so I had to be somebody else. Always had that happen. When I had that happen, it was you lose yourself. And this is why I kind of understand where these kids are coming from because they lose themselves. These kids are struggling, struggling. And as parents, we can only do with what we're dealt. And we can only do the best we can do we might not be able to go beyond. We might have to try and go above and beyond more than what we have to. But as a parent, that's what we have to do. I had to do it. And no matter what I lost, I had just became a supervisor. I wanted that job. I craved for that job. And something happened to my one of my kids after I became a supervisor and this happened. I had an argument with my supervisor, with my manager, and I told him I'm not doing it no more. And he said, "Why not?" I said, "I know that all the stuff I'm getting, I know I'm a manager now, I'm a supervisor, I'm in charge of people, I'm doing scheduling, I'm checking work. This is what I wanted to do. I always wanted to, but my daughter became first. My kid came before my job." He goes, "You could be demoted," which I did. I took the demotion and I told the next supervisor that what I was going through and I might have to make a lot of trips upstate. And they said, "Well, I don't know what we're going to do." I said, "Listen, this is my kid. If I have to go, I'm going. If you fire me because I had to sit there and go do something for my child, fire me." I didn't care because you don't want anything to happen to them to where they'll be even worse or where the worst thing of ever. And I think the worst thing is when a parent has to bury a child. This always affects me. You should never have to bury your child. And no matter what they go through, if they're that seriously depressed, you are going to do what you have to do. If people can't accept it, then you know what? That's on them. My job is my job. Yeah, pays my rent. But this is my kid. And if the job does not understand, then why are you working for that company? I understand that stores have schedules. Sometimes that happens. But, when you have kids, the kids are important, not the job. And this is a hard topic because I really feel for these kids. I do. I don't like seeing them suffer. I have my children, which they're in their 20s now, but I also have a granddaughter and two godchildren. When they get bigger, what happens if they go through something? I worry about that every day. Like, if something happens, what am I going to do? Am I going to help them? I mean, I have to do whatever I can for them. I mean, if I have to do what I got to do, if I got to sacrifice a lot of things, so I'm going to do that because that is what matters to me. Their mental health and their health means everything to me. What I want to tell people is I may sound a little depressing. Sorry. This is a very hard topic for me. And I will say that if you are, and if this goes out, I don't know who will get this video or not, but if you could spread this video to parents who are going through these situations right now with these kids, let them know that they're not alone, that there are people out there that want to help, and that no matter what, as a parent, if you do everything in your power to make that child better, to help them, to sacrifice everything you got just to give them that, to just to make them feel better, you're doing your job. Your kids might not see that in the beginning because, kids sometimes don't understand. But I know when my children got old enough, they understood the sacrifices I made. So they, when they got older, they appreciated everything that I tried to do for them when they were younger. When I thought I failed, I thought I really failed with them. And I didn't. My kids became way better than I feel I was, in a way. Do they have their days? Yeah, they do. But they've go through them, and if they have a problem, they talk to people. They have people but behind them that are willing to give them support. I'm always there, and their stepmom and mom's always there. So, yeah, I just had to do this video. I really feel bad for what's going on today. And I'm sending prayers out to all them kids that are suffering. I know it's hard. It's very hard. Now, if you're a kid and you're watching this, which I made this for adults, but sometimes kids they get the hold of their parents' YouTube, especially nowadays. You're not alone. And as parents, you're not alone. There are other parents out there that are going through what you are, or that have been through where you're going right now. And I want to tell you that everything will be all right if you do what you have to do. Just do what you're doing, help them as best you can. There's no guidebook on there's no guidebook on how how to be a parent. They have what to expect, what you're expecting, but you know what? Everybody's life is unique. Nobody's life is the same. Everybody's life is different. Kids go through different things. They have different habits, different things they're afraid of, different everything. But we as parents, as long as we adjust to that and we help them as best we can, then we've done what we could possibly do. There is no more that you can do. And any amount of sacrifice for a child is not wasted. Any child, even if they're not my kids. If they're not my kids, I feel sorry for them too because, kids are kids. These are the future generation of us. These are these are people like us, younger versions of us that are going through a lot at this point. So please, if you're a parent, these videos, I hope they help, but you're doing everything you can do. And for the kids, I know as a kid, you're going to be like, you don't understand, dad. You don't understand, mom. We understand a little bit. We were kids once too. Some of us had more problems than others. Was life a little bit easier back then? Yeah, it was. Is life going to get better? I had a very hard childhood when it came to outside of my home life, my family life. Outside of my family life, I was a train wreck. Inside my family life, I had everything I could ever want, and it balanced it out. But then after people started passing away, then you start thinking like, "Wow, they did this for me, that for me." I'm never gonna have somebody like that for me in my life, but you will. Will it be right away? Probably no, but you will. So, this is for the kids, the parents. I got you. This is for us, the parents, and this is for you, the children. We want to do our best to protect you, and we want to make sure that our kids are safe. Thank you very much for your time. I know I'm a little long-winded sometimes, but it's been a little rough this week with what I've been reading with some posts. And I want what's best, and I hope and pray that every child that's out there that's suffering gets well and not suffering for much longer and can just go back to being normal kids again. Thank you very much, and Godspeed, and have a great weekend. And I will probably put up another video in a few minutes, but this had to be said. I have another topic that's in my head, but I don't know if I'm going to do it today or if I'm going to do it tomorrow. So, have a great day. Thank you. And like and subscribe if you have any ideas, if uh, or if you just want to leave a story and I can use it to help other people make another topic. That would be great too, because then if I help you and you help me, and then I put that out there, and then it helps somebody else, 1 to 2 people, if it helps, is all I need. It's all I need. I want to know somebody is doing good from my advice and is feeling better about themselves. Have a great day and weekend. Take care.